In this video, I want to show you how to replace your window regulator with motor assembly. This is on the rear driver's door, but this will pretty much apply to any door on this vehicle. I want to start right here by this little door pocket. Take a pick or a pocket screwdriver, whatever you might have, and try to pry this cap off. There we go. Take a T25 Torx bit, remove this mounting screw. At this point along the whole door, you'll see clips like this. You have to press in the center to unlock them, just like that. And you can pop out the outside of it. There's another one here, one underneath the speaker, and two more on that side of the door. And with all of that removed, the door panel should be loose at this point, which it is. So grab it, lift it straight up, but don't go too far because the door handle cable is still connected, as well as some wires. Here you can see the door handle cable. To disconnect this, all you have to do is pry out on these two tabs here and it should pop right out. Don't forget to unplug these, and only then can you pull the door panel away. Let's remove this vapor barrier. Try to unstick it without breaking it. Sometimes you can use a razor blade and cut this glue as you're pulling it off. These foam pieces that you see here, you can break off because there's no way you're going to peel them off nicely. All they do is they hide some nuts that mount the window regulator. What we have to do now is bring the window down to about this level so we can see where it mounts onto the regulator. So in order for me not to cover everything so you can see, I took my window switch out. Obviously you don't have to do this. Like I said, I only did it so you can see what's going on. I'm going to reconnect it, and with my ignition on, I'm going to lower the window until I see this mounting point right here. You can see it's riveted on. I was hoping it was going to be bolted on, so it turns out we do have to remove this piece here. So I guess I'll put this back, remove this. Now the window will be at proper level. We can pull this vapor barrier back and remove these two rivets, pull the window up and separate the two before we release the window regulator from the door panel. And now I'm just going to take a drill bit and drill this out. Before I pop it off, while it's still somewhat held on here, let's do the same to the lower one. There we go, this one actually popped off, so that's good. There we go. Now we can completely remove the vapor barrier. Set it aside, and we have much better access to the window regulator area where we have to drill out these two rivets. Now I'm going to take a punch, try to punch out the rest of these rivets. 1, 2. Now the window can be slid up and off of the regulator here. I cleaned my window. I'm going to go ahead and bring it up manually. Press it in all the way. I have a roll of painter's tape here. Then I'm going to stick to the outside of the window, go up with it. Make sure the window's all the way up. Go over the top of the door and then stick it back onto the other side. I'm going to do probably 3 to 4 strips of this. This is thick painter's tape. It's a very wide tape. You don't want to use the narrow one because, well, it doesn't hold as well. And the reason you want to use this is because the window, even though it may sometimes stay up by itself, well, it's not going to stay up for long, and you don't want it to fall on you as you're working. You can also use some sort of suction cups. I know they make special suction cups that hold up windows. They basically work the same as this tape, except instead of sticking with glue like tape, they stick through a suction. And then it'll hold the window up for you. So there you go. This is now secure. We can work on the regulator. There are more rivets we have to take out. This is one of them. And another one down here. There we go. Now all that's holding this regulator on is this 10mm nut at the top. So let's remove it. Last thing to do is to unplug it. And now we can remove it. There we go. Pull it down and out. Take the new regulator with the motor, slide it down into position, bring it up. And what I'm going to do first is line up the bolt at the top, or the stud. There we go. As soon as that goes in through the door, I know that everything else will line up. So I'm going to thread on the 10mm nut. I'm not going to tighten it all the way because I need to put the rivets in first, but this is good for now. It's being held in place, so let's rivet it back together. However, before I do that, while I'm at it, I'm just going to go ahead and plug this in. That way that's done. Make sure it clicks. Now it's time to install the rivets. I have my rivet gun with the rivet in it. I'm going to put it through and tighten it up. And now for this lower one, line it up, put the rivet through and secure it. There we go. Now with this regulator and motor secured in place, I'm going to put my window switch back in. Yours will obviously still be on the door panel, but like I said, in this case you can see what's happening. So I'm going to bring it down to about here. In this area here, I have enough space to work with my rivet gun. I can see everything. Unplug the switch, turn off the key, and let's lower the window and put it onto the regulator. Now remove your tape and let's lower the window. Slowly and carefully lower it down. As you can see, the old rivets are still stuck in here, so I'm going to try to pop these out before I go further. That way I can actually put in the new rivets. So you can do this whatever way you want. They're really in here, like it's not even moving. So what I'm going to do is grind it flush and then punch it out. That's the only thing I can think of. If you can come up with a different solution, you can continue drilling it. But at this point, this one's not going to drill straight. And so I'm going to grind this one off. I'm going to try drilling this one out, but if it doesn't work out, I'm going back to the sanding disc and just sanding them flat. Be careful not to break the window with the vibrations that you cause. There we go. Be very careful when you do this. As you can see, I have locking pliers on both sides, supporting everything. And, well, just do the best you can. If you can drill them out, drill them out. If you can punch them out, just be very careful. Let's release these. And now, we can finally lower the window down onto the regulator like this. And once it lines up, we can put a couple rivets through. I'm just going to set the rivets in place to hold the window. Put this one in. There we go. Perfect. The window is now secured to the regulator and the regulator is secured to the door. However, if you remember, I did not tighten up fully this 10mm nut right here. So let's do that now. Now that everything is bolted up together and secured. Nice and snug. It's time to put the vapor barrier back. So try to stick this the best you can. Don't forget to have this cable come through here. Gets hooked on there. If for some reason this can't stick, well, you can use some tape. Just try to get it to stick the best you can because it is important that you block moisture from coming into the vehicle or into the door panel, I should say, because otherwise you can get mold and not so pleasant things. And now to put this back, I'm going to line it up at the top first and then bring it down towards the bottom. As you can see, I accidentally bent it a little bit, but that's okay. I can fix that. I'll put my rivet through, put it on the rivet gun, and lock it in. Okay, and now let's put it in on the bottom. This is secure, perfect. Let's plug in the window switch. Reconnect this door handle cable, just like that. Bring the door panel up and over the lock switch over here, or the lock indicator I should say, and then up and over the window seal here. Press it down, and let's secure it in place. Put back this T25 mounting bolt here for the handle, tighten it up. And while I'm here, I'm just gonna go ahead and put this cover back on. Now to reinstall these clips that go around the door, you actually have to push them out like this. Do this to all of them, and only then can you insert them through and push them flush to lock them in.
When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.